Am I the only one that didn't know about the prodigal son? It's a story that has been told for generations, yet its lessons remain timeless and relevant. Let's uncover his tale together and see what we can learn from this ancient parable. The father was kind and loving, always wanting the best for his children. He was a man of great patience and understanding, someone who believed in giving his children the freedom to make their own choices. One day, the younger son went to his dad and said, "Father, give me my share of the estate." This was an unusual request, as inheritances were typically given after the father's death. But the father, respecting his son's wishes, agreed. So the father divided his property between them. He gave the younger son his portion, even though it must have pained him to see his son leave. Not long after that, the younger son packed up all his belongings and set off for a distant country. He was eager to explore the world, to experience life on his own terms. There he squandered his wealth in wild living. He spent money recklessly, indulging in pleasures and excesses without thinking about the future. With no money left, a severe famine hit, and he was in dire need. The once carefree young man found himself struggling to survive in a harsh and unforgiving world. He found a job feeding pigs and was so hungry he wished he could eat the pigs' food. This was a humiliating position for him, especially considering his upbringing. That's when he realized, even my father's servants have food to spare, and here I am starving. He began to understand the gravity of his mistakes and the value of what he had left behind. He decided to return home, saying, "I will go back to my father and say, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you.'" He knew he had to humble himself and seek forgiveness. As he approached home, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. The father had been waiting and hoping for his son's return, never giving up on him. He ran to his son, threw his arms around him, and kissed him. This act of love and forgiveness was overwhelming for the son, who had expected anger and rejection. The son said, "Father, I have sinned against heaven and against you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." He confessed his wrongdoings, fully aware of the pain he had caused. But the father said to his servants, "Quick, bring the best robe and put it on him." The father wanted to restore his son's dignity and honor, put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. These were symbols of his son's restored status in the family. "Let's have a feast and celebrate." The father wanted to mark this joyous occasion with a grand celebration. "This son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." The father's joy was immense as he had regained his beloved son, and so they began to celebrate. The entire household rejoiced, sharing in the happiness of the father's reunion with his son. This story teaches us the power of forgiveness and unconditional love. It reminds us that no matter how far we stray, there is always a path back to those who love us. No matter how lost we feel, we can always find our way back home. The end, this parable encourages us to reflect on our own lives and relationships and to embrace the transformative power of forgiveness and love.